What's up guys, Evasion here and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be covering my macros. A lot of you guys have been asking about my assassination macros, and honestly I don't use anything too extravagant, but we're going to cover them quick. Let's hop straight into them. Open up the macro book here, and the first thing I want to talk about is my SAP macro. Very old SAP macro, and I do have another way to use this. This is not mandatory, but it is nice to have when you're out in the world. Pretty much emulates spamming tab to get your target and sap at the same time. It is a decent thing for beginners, I guess, in arena, but it does have some flaws. For example, in an arena situation, if you need to sap, you're looking for a stealth target, and they happen to be near their healer, nothing's going to stop you from collecting their target and randomly sapping them. So what I do to get around this is I also use arena 1, 2, and 3 saps. So basically, we are going to have /stopattack and then /cast at arena 1 sap. We have that for 2 and 3 as well. And basically what this does is rather than try to tab a target and then sap it, it is simply trying to target the arena frame and sap the arena frame. It is very fast. It is very much faster than the other way, and it's actually crazy. Ever since I started doing this, I only learned to do this maybe late last year. Took me a week or two to get used to it, but now I use it all the time. I don't even think about it. Um, it's way better. I still don't really use it for like vanish sapping and stuff like that. I mostly use focus for that, which that first macro is also a focus sap as well. Other than this, I use focus Garrote macro. Basically, if I just press the macro, it's going to use Garrote on my target. If I hold shift, it will target my focus. I have this for Rupture as well. I don't know why. I've actually written the macros differently. That's like the old way of doing it, and the new way is simply to have /cast and then like mod shift target equals focus or at focus, both work. And then it just gives you more flexibility. Basically allows you to multi-dot to more than one target, and you're not going to be having to change targets all the time to keep up your bleeds on off targets, which is pretty good. Pretty good thing to do. You don't have to use shift, for example. You can use alt or control. Just change it. The reason why I use these macros over the option in the interface, you can change this here to shift, control, alt. There's really no problem with this, other than the fact that if you use macros where, like I have a mount macro. Where's that at? Here's a mount macro here. So basically, if I hold like nothing, it's gonna use my like Cultier and Charger. If I hold alt, it'll use my class mount, and shift, it'll use the yak. If you have shift set in your focus mod in the interface options, it will not work properly. It counts that you have something bound. So basically, that's why I write the macros instead, so it kind of frees up more flexibility in what I can do. Anyway, in addition to that, I mean, I have the focus macro for kidney shot as well. The reason I'm rather inconsistent with writing these is they were all added at different times. There's multiple different ways you can write it. It doesn't matter macro to macro how they're written, as long as you're consistent and make sure you have it in the right spots. Like the brackets and stuff like that. You don't need these square brackets for everything, but it doesn't break the macro. Some patches, the macros have been broken, and I've had to add those to make it work again. So basically just, yeah, kidney shot, bleed macros for focus, have one for blind as well. And then I have a Shao step macro, so I can target party members 1 and 2 through using nomod or modifier. Very good for using Shadow Step defensively on your teammates and still targeting the kill target or whoever you're trying to deal with. I also have a focus Shadow Step macro because I have it on a different keybind that I could not shift hit properly at the time. So I have a regular Shadow Step and then I focus Shadow Step instead of using a modifier. You can use this as a template. Honestly, you could use, like, say you wanted to use Garrote on 3, but you wanted focus Garrote to not be shift 3. You wanted to use like, I don't know, we'll say 4. You could just use a macro like this, and you could put that on 4. So if you hit 4, it's going to focus your target. If you hit 3, it's going to hit your regular target. You can do stuff like that if you don't like to use modifiers. However, I think it's a little easier on my brain personally to use focus macros, where I'm using shift and stuff like that. It's just easier to think about for me. But whatever works for you guys. Also, like once again, depending on the keybind, like my cheap shot is tilde. I have the alt modifier set instead of shift so that I can target the focus and not be like, hitting shift tilde is awful. You don't want to do that. Alt tilde is definitely a lot easier. Um, try and think about that kind of stuff when you guys are setting up your keybinds and stuff like that. Kind of off topic, but relevant all the same. Um, and then let's see here, mouse over focus macro. Yeah, mouse over focus macro is pretty cool. It's good for out in the world. Not as needed in arena because I keybind the arena target 1, 2, and 3 in the inner or in the keybinds, and I use Shift, AS, and D for the focus, and AS and D for targeting. I just move with Q, W, and E, and then so if I hit my mouse button that I have this set to, it'll set the focus. If I have nothing targeted or moused over, it'll drop the focus. Pretty convenient macro. Highly recommend it. Other than focus macros, I use a vendetta macro, so I have /use no stealth 14. Basically, it'll only pop my on-use trinket if I'm out of stealth, which is pretty good. The reason why I have that is because using your trinket will bring you out of stealth, and you can use vendetta in stealth. You generally don't do it, but once in a while it is good. So if you are going to bind stuff together, you can do that. Currently, I have my safeguard on though, so it won't do anything when I press this other than pop vendetta. I also have /use 13 and 14 set, which are the first and second trinket slots. The reason why I have this is so that if I get a new trinket, I simply don't have to change my bars. They're just already set. It'll use whatever trinket is in those slots. You don't have to keep redragging trinkets to your action bar, and then queue up an arena and you forget or something silly like that. Last two macros, I have a distract macro, which is pretty much just stop attack, and I've thrown in a /cancel or a blessing of protection. You can throw this in on anything that you don't think it's going to get in the way of. I mean, worst case scenario, if I press this and I don't want to distract, I just right click and it's gone. Gives me a keybound way to remove blessing of protection, which could be useful if you were playing, say, ret rogue, like you guys have seen me play, and you're against a mage rogue. You get, say, kidney shot at vendetta. Your ret can bop it off, and you can very quickly cancel the blessing of protection so that the mage can't spell steal the blessing of protection to be immune to crowd control that you may need to do to the mage. Or if you're killing the mage, then he's got a way to live now. So just a very, very useful macro. Also, I have /stop attack and stealth in there because it is my keybind for that is alt of my stealth key. So basically, it just, if I was hitting sprint and I wanted to stealth at the same time, it would work. It wouldn't mess me up. Just kind of a convenience thing, not really overly necessary. And then the last thing, I have this on my stealth keybind as well. Stealth macro, basically just /stop attack, /stop casting, /cast stealth. What this is good for is, well, my finger literally sits on my stealth key on my mouse all the time. So if somebody polymorphs or CCs my target and I don't want to break it, I can instantly stop attacking. And I'm not going to break those CCs. I very, very rarely break CC thanks to this macro. Highly, highly recommend it. If you don't want to use focus for a certain thing, you can always make more macros like the Arena 1, 2, 3 with different abilities. I just personally think that's a lot of keybinds, and I don't like to do things this way. Anyway, though, that's pretty much going to cover it for this video. I hope you guys have found this useful, and I'm going to try and have a bunch more videos up this weekend. I'm going to upload some Monk, Windwalker, and Holy Paladin 2's clips, I think, that I got the other day, and I think I have some more Shadow Priest Rogue as well, but I'm not sure. We'll try to get a couple of videos for you guys up this weekend. And also, last thing before I go here, I'm going to try and post more up-to-date things on Twitter. I don't know if you guys use Twitter at all, but follow me there if you do, /EvasionX. And also on Twitch, I'm going to start streaming a little bit. Might stream tonight after this video is up, but I'm unsure. Twitch.tv/EvasionX. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.